Part 1. What a trust actually is. A trust is not just paperwork. It is a system for holding and protecting family wealth. Instead of assets being owned by one individual, they are owned by a legal structure called a trust. The trust exists beyond any one person's lifetime. It has three parts: the person who creates it, the trustee who manages it, the beneficiaries, the family members who benefit from it. When assets are placed inside a trust, they are no longer vulnerable to personal mistakes, lawsuits, or emotional decisions. The trust creates rules that outlive personalities. The purpose of the trust is simple: protect the family, protect the assets, protect the future. What each family member should do: learn the difference between personal ownership and trust ownership. Understand how probate works and why avoiding it matters. Think long-term instead of emotionally. Stop seeing wealth as mine and start seeing it as ours. Personal disagreements, pride, or ego should never interfere with a structure that protects everyone. Part 2. Why trusts? Preserve family integrity. When wealth is passed directly from one individual to another, problems happen. People argue. Assets get divided. Taxes reduce the value. Properties get sold. Money disappears within one generation. A trust removes emotion from distribution. It creates structure. It says, this house stays in the family. This money is used for education. This property generates income. The trust forces discipline. It protects the family from itself. Generational wealth is not built on feelings. It is built on systems. What each family member should do: accept that structure is not control, and it is protection. Educate yourself on estate taxes and how assets shrink without planning. Shift mindset from short-term comfort to long-term preservation. Separate family disagreements from financial strategy. Wealth requires maturity. Emotional conflict should never destroy structural advantage. Part 3. The importance of life insurance. Life insurance is not just about death. It is a financial tool that creates liquidity. When someone dies, expenses do not stop. Mortgages still exist. Taxes still exist. Bills still exist. Life insurance provides a tax-free payout that immediately injects cash into the system. If the trust owns the policy or is the beneficiary, that money strengthens the trust. It can pay off mortgages, eliminate debt, replace income, add capital for the next generation. Life insurance ensures that death does not destroy wealth. What each family member should do: learn the difference between term and permanent life insurance. Understand how cash value works. Evaluate your insurability while you are still healthy. Stop viewing life insurance as an expense. View it as leverage. A family that refuses to insure itself is a family gambling its future on luck. Part 4. The waterfall concept. Explained simply. The waterfall concept is about recycling wealth. While alive, a person may borrow against their life insurance cash value to start businesses, fund investments, cover opportunities. Instead of selling assets and triggering taxes, they use policy loans. When they pass away, the death benefit pays off any outstanding loans, sends the remaining amount into the trust. So even though money was used during life, the trust gets restored or even increased after death. Wealth flows out during life. It flows back in at death. That is the waterfall. What each family member should do: learn how policy loans work. Understand compounding. Study how wealthy families use leverage instead of liquidation. Commit to contributing, not just consuming. The goal is not to drain the system. The goal is to use it responsibly and replenish it. If you would like a more in-depth explanation of the waterfall trust strategy, I highly recommend you watch the full video breakdown attached to this module. Part 5. Real estate and asset protection. If property is owned personally and someone dies, the family can lose it. If property is inside a trust and backed by life insurance, mortgages can be paid off. The home can remain. Rental income can continue. Instead of forced sales, the family maintains control. Real estate inside a trust becomes a permanent pillar, not a temporary possession. What each family member should do: learn how titles work, understand mortgage risk at death, study how rental income supports long-term stability. Think of property as legacy, not liquidation. Wealth is not built by selling everything when pressure comes. It is built by protecting pillars. Part 6. The bigger vision: generational wealth. Over ego. This system only works if the family is aligned. Personal arguments, old disputes, ego battles, jealousy. None of that matters in comparison to building something that lasts 100 years. Generational wealth requires discipline, emotional control, cooperation, long-term thinking. No one person is bigger than the system. The trust is the system. Life insurance is the fuel. The waterfall is the renewal process. If we treat this seriously, we are not building money. We are building security for children not even born yet. What each family member should do: make financial literacy a personal responsibility. Control emotional reactions that threaten structural progress. Think in decades, not months. Commit to contribution over criticism. We can either repeat cycles of starting over every generation, or we can build a structure that resets and strengthens every generation. That choice is ours.